Duty has a huge problem and no one's talking about it. Let's unpack. Okay, when Call of Duty took itself seriously, what we used to have, faction-based characters, announcers, spawn themes. First of all, real quickly, I will have all this guy's information in the description. So many people told me to react to this video. I've seen it in my inbox. People have sent me messages. It's been everywhere. It's just insane the traction this video got. It just shows you how many people want to return to a classic Call of Duty. So let's go over this. What we used to have.
The last one. Complete the mission.
Listen to the music. Listen to the
Good
characters.
Job, get ready for the
realistic characters against what we have now.
I need an FRE AK-47.
Oh no.
Follow the
I mean, let's just be honest. Let's be honest. It's a talking point that we've all been discussing. Do we want the old school skins or do we want the new school? Nicki Minaj, 21 Savage, just the most random collabs of all time.
I want more.
What do we want? You know, it feels like to me, as a community, we want this classic feel. I have polls on my YouTube that are saying like, which skins do you like better? Everybody always votes Milsim, but they sell.
There used to be a time when Call of Duty got made fun of for becoming too Hollywood, kind of like the Michael Bay of video games. But at the same time, it was still serious and did its own thing very well. The story and theme it was trying to convey felt more grounded, or at least it felt more impactful. And then when you went into multiplayer, it felt connected. You weren't worried about seeing a few Nicki Minaj's running around, and instead it was just two armies fighting each other.
Dude, there's so many times where people talk to me and they're like, I played the campaign the other day, Call of Duty 2, and it felt like we were a unit. We were pushing up, we were pushing together. Now it just feels like you're like a Rambo character. Even in the campaigns, like we played Modern Warfare 3, everything's just like solo YOLO. And just like he's saying with multiplayer, you're like these two, an army and ranger, and you're fighting and now the new multiplayer, you're just like a solo player doing whatever you want to do. Like there's no team aspect to it.
That made
and you're running around as Nicki Minaj.
Sure, none of what I will talk about will affect gameplay. Doesn't affect how well the game runs.
It doesn't.
And it sounds like a stupid thing to gripe about, right? But there's nothing wrong with preferences. That's something we should talk about when it's the game we get to enjoy after all. Call of Duty has changed things that I think just give it a silly look and atmosphere. And this falls mostly in the...
Before he even gets to his point, do I feel like it's Fortnite? Kind of. I feel like he should go to the Fortnite route because I think that's what we all think. We go, Fortnite ruined Call of Duty because they just copied the skins.
Multiplayer, but a little in other modes too.
Multiplayer's jumbled mess.
No one disagrees when the highest priority should be set on making the game satisfying to play. But with each video game that is successful, it typically has a charm that makes the game feel more proper. If you were to boot up Modern Warfare 2, the original one, and you just sat there in the menu for a little bit,
don't make me cry.
What type of mood does it put you in?
Oh, it just makes me...
For me, I'm thinking, this is Modern Warfare.
This is Modern. I want to go
identify it by its music, the background, and the images.
Dude, look how simple the menu was. Pause. Look how simple the menu was. Special ops, campaign, multiplayer. It's all right in front of you. There's no menu over here, store over there, in your face this. No pop-ups. Look at how simple that was. You know what I'm saying.
By what was conveyed. Modern Warfare was exactly what you would think. It was a modern take on war, and you got that feeling throughout every single mode you played.
Dude,
what I'm trying to get
the
at
campaign was
is
amazing.
A theme. A unified
I need to play
theme.
that campaign again.
You shouldn't ever underestimate the power of this. A theme can help immerse you into the game. I for sure want to be immersed. Don't you?
Immersion's huge, especially in Call of Duty. I mean, like he said earlier, when you're playing MW2 multiplayer and Spec Ops and campaign, you feel like it's just a connected universe.
Spec Ops to then multiplayer. It all had a similar
look. It all looks
look.
the same. Look
the
at
battlefield of
it.
An
All
army
looks the same.
You
wouldn't know the difference
into the game
if there was no like
just another soldier,
mini maps and stuff.
Not an operator fighting other operators, especially a Nicki Minaj operator. Her being in Call of Duty,
that's what it feels like.
Lives
operator versus operator.
I for one prefer playing as soldiers that I don't know anything about, but have a cool aesthetic to them. I definitely don't mind campaign characters being in there either, but I think it's much better when everything just makes sense. Playing as specific armies against other armies
even the skins from the old CODs,
like either. It can leak into several elements. One of those being the announcers. Do you remember what?
It's just so freaking iconic. I don't even know who does the voice. You know what I do actually? I don't know for multiplayer. I can tell you who does it for Warzone. It's this Graves cutscene that needs to go away forever. Season 2, can we never bring that back ever again? Listen to the passion in that guy's voice.
Each faction would have their own announcer and
Listen
actually
to it.
sounded like they belonged there.
World at War was really good at that too.
Soul into the callouts.
We've been EMP'd!
I mean, listen to that, man.
Are down! The enemy's taking
Listen to the
our flag!
passion, the
Friendly
voice
Predator
acting.
missile incoming. Friendly AC-130.
I don't know if he discusses
Enemy
World at War.
AC-130 above.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
The battle is lost, but the war has just begun.
Tactical nuke inbound. No! They've captured our flag! Enemy has all positions! Fight back! Counter UAV up. They're blind. Enemy AC-130 above! No! They've captured our flag!
I used to love...
Dude, these are so iconic that you remember them from... This game is 2009? The game's 15 years old almost, and you can still... Enemy AC-130! Like, you can remember that like it's yesterday. Because it immersed you. Just like he said, it immersed you in the gameplay. I don't even know who the announcer is for the new multiplayer. I really don't. I couldn't even tell you the last couple. I really can't.
Of hearing the announcers from every game because they fleshed out the...
I don't know if he covers World at War, but I'm telling you, World at War had some of the best voice acting of all time. COD 4, Black Ops 2.
Atmosphere of each match.
I can remember
to help
every
maps
voice line.
feel more unique. There wouldn't be just any random faction thrown in. It would be a more proper faction for the map that made sense.
Oh, he did cover it. Listen to the voices. Every faction has a different person talking.
And the games would typically have several options to select from when it came to maps. You look at a game like Black Ops 1,
Dude,
and
Black
you have
Ops,
several
what
different
I would do
options
to
that
play
would
this game
change
again.
dependent on the map you played. The soldier you specifically played as was determined by certain perks you had selected. But what do you see when you browse through all of these characters?
Personality.
They all make sense. They fit the theme. And they look like real soldiers.
They have
you had
personality.
6 different factions with some variety from music.
They have variety, but it's not anything crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you're not like, what the heck is that guy? Look, flat jacket, look at the outfit he's got on. He's got like a bomb squad outfit. It just matches it perfectly.
When starting a match.
Oh, gosh, dude. I think about Black Ops 1 intros once a day. Because I just, they're so ingrained in my mind. I mean, come on.
Even if you didn't think much of this while playing, you could just feel the difference when hopping between the older Call of Duty
partially
games
sweat
to the newer
everybody
ones.
sweat. I
There
think
just isn't sense of this anywhere in the multiplayer. All random operators that make the game look like one big giant ad.
One ad and one big game of Fortnite, in my opinion. I'm sure he'll cover Fortnite at some point, but it just, that's what happens. You're running around, you got people doing Fortnite dances, and it feels like they're trying to do that in COD, especially when they were doing dances back in Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3.
Now watch me whip. Now watch me.
Black Ops 3 did it, I guess, a decent way, but
I know when that hotline.
I understand
It's futuristic.
microtransactions are a thing, and that's a huge way companies make their money, but what's stopping them from having boundaries in what they
But
make?
what about camos?
Instead
What
of
about more
releasing
camos?
Homelander, release some cool Ranger or anything that fits the theme of the game. Multiplayer used
camos.
to mold into the theme. Now you jump into it, and it's all a jumbled
It's an
mess
ad.
of
It's
random
an
things.
ad.
Call of Duty's
You get
about
slapped
war
in the face
and
with
the
an ad.
events from them. It used to be about committing to a theme and staying true to it.
Look at
If it
look at
was
that
World
main
War
menu
II,
system.
then you would get a darker horror
Oh,
take on it
dude.
with something
Please
like
bring
World
this
at
game
War.
back.
If it was during modern times, then we would be seeing higher stakes with more advanced weaponry. Bringing back the aesthetic would help change the tone of the game and give it a true theme that it could be known for.
And real quick before we get into zombies, like I said, I kept saying camos. I feel like with Call of Duty, you can keep the skins realistic, make them variations that are awesome, but then at the same time, throw those camos out there like Black Ops 2, the weaponized 115 and Bacon and all those were awesome. Like, and I bought them. And guess what? They would make so much money if you weren't doing these stupid blueprints where the camo literally goes on one gun. I buy a $20 camo and it goes on one gun. Back in Black Ops 2, I bought one camo. It went on every gun. So like, work with us a little bit here, you know? Give us more bang for our buck and we'll spend more.
We? Who's we?
At least I will.
For a mode like Zombies, you could easily think that would be crazy to throw into a Call of Duty game displaying the brutality of World War II. It doesn't make sense, it isn't realistic, but it also used to stay true to itself. It was its own universe after all, and it did take itself seriously. Zombies as a mode was something different.
Remember dropping into that map after the campaign?
And didn't derive from the experience of others. Multiplayer would still play the exact same, and so would campaign.
Look at that. Look I love that. And I think that's the thing we're missing too with Warzone getting added. There's another layer that they have to do. So it's like Warzone's that big jumbled mess of characters, customization, and this and that. And then like this back in the day, when you would play the campaign, it would be the same. Like maps from multiplayer would be within the campaign and within Zombies. And it's like now there's just so much going on. They have so many teams. It's tough to keep stuff unified. It really is. This is unified.
Really bleed over to those modes. But you could also say that there was an invasion in the mode of Zombies. The invasion of operators that seemingly have less soul than a basic soldier or character that look like they would belong there. The campaign has started molding into Zombies with all our characters being in the universe now. Nothing feels unique anymore. It all is starting to feel overwhelmingly generic.
It is. The Zombies feels generic. I mean, it's a good little addition they made with the time that they had, but it's generic. And with campaign, I don't know what's going on with campaign. I feel like Modern Warfare 19 was a great campaign. Cold War was a great campaign. And then just like Vanguard didn't do it. And MW2 even really didn't do it that much for me. And then MW3, you see my videos on MW3.
That's pretty much where
Worst
I think
campaign
Call of Duty
ever.
is at. The gameplay is an entirely different beast. But when we talk about its charm with each game's theme, a lot of it has just become bland and doesn't make any sense. It may seem like something small,
just clean,
and it's definitely something not a lot of people
characters
care
are
about,
matching
but
the theme.
It does make a bigger difference than lots would think. You can make fun of older Call of Duty all you want, but it used to have themes that it stuck true to.
Yeah,
they were serious about displaying different eras of war.
And can we even talk about this real quick? World War II and World at War, how they met the theme, they honored the theme, they honored the war. And then Vanguard, it was just like my team versus your team. It's like, what are we talking about here? There's got to be some passion here. You know, it was Germany, it was America, it was this whole thing, and it wasn't your team, my team. Like, get me in the moment, get me in
Zombies, they approached it as its own thing. Booting up a Call of Duty game used to come with a distinguishable look that you could quickly identify it by. That would be carried throughout in several
hearing that
ways.
boot up.
But the part where COD can still be considered serious would have to be only the campaign at this point. The story for the most part is still serious.
I hated that
and
map so
basically the
much.
only mode that I think actually takes the theme of the game seriously. I still get immersed into the experience and it feels proper.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There is something you could pick apart from it. Everything can feel too hero focused.
I was just gonna say, I'm telling you what I said earlier with COD 2, COD 4, I felt like I was in this group of people where like they had my back and they were watching my back. And I wasn't just sprinting through the campaign like I was Rambo or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Soldier. You could be anyone and you jump into their perspective as they fight through the events of the game.
Little corporal or something.
There's a balance of this. The storytelling often had you jumping from character to character to eventually lead to the ending of the game where everything would unfold. It had a certain way about it that made the story feel more grand in scale. Like these events were truly more than just our main cast of characters. It made characters like Ramirez become a living legend amongst fans even though he was a silent protagonist with little backstory. But it also had guts.
Shout out Ramirez.
Things like gore and torture scenes like in World at War makes the game feel more serious. A mission like No Russian left impacts on the players and went as far as
they were making moves back then, man. Now that I look at some of this stuff, these campaign missions, what they allowed and what they were doing, it impacted you when you played. You're like, wow, we're fighting for something.
Controversial in the media. Things like that set the dangers in a story and makes a villain someone to not take lightly. Plot armor on characters also plays things too safely and doesn't present any danger to our cast if we always know they're going to end up surviving it.
It's the age-old superhero movie, you know what I mean? Like when you know the superhero's gonna, when the superhero, you know he's gonna survive, there's no stakes. Tell me one of the most impactful movies in superhero world. Guess what it was? It was the one where all in Marvel, the Avengers, if you haven't seen it yet, sorry, but they all, half of them go to dust. Remember walking out of the movie theater completely shocked?
I don't feel so good.
And just people stunned, because when a superhero actually gets beat, you're like, what the heck? Or even a person in general, when the good team is defeated, so many movies, they're just like, you're like, holy crap, like that wasn't supposed to happen. And in these new ones,
in a way, has
even with soap in the new one, it just
creeped into the game as well. But when Call of Duty took itself seriously, it was able to captivate gamers across all modes they would play. It stuck to its guns and made games that were fondly remembered by the charm it provided in
as he's
each of
quick
its
scoping.
modes. Although this may not be
as
a
he's
big concern,
no scoping, quick scoping.
It's not something to forget, and I think it's fair to be vocal about. If it wasn't for an overlapping theme, I think older Call of Duty games would have had a hard time going down as being iconic.
Yep. Dude, I'm telling you what, man. Shout out to my man Wheezy. This guy makes some insane content. I've watched a couple of his videos. This one, again, got recommended to me by so many people. I just kind of want to try to put some more personality out on this channel and react to some stuff. So if you have anything else in the comments, put it in there. Twitter, DM me. But overall, man, like, he nailed it. Call of Duty used to have this unified theme, and now it just seems like this jumbled ad for every sort of company out there. And do I think it'll save Call of Duty if they go back to this, get rid of all those skins and all that stuff? No, because there's been some CODs with some wild skins, and I've liked those CODs. But they need to work on bringing things together and just, I don't know. They have to figure that out, and I'm hoping with Treyarch taking over for the next year or two that they'll get it back to that, because Cold War was one of the most underrated CODs in the last couple of years. You know, with the issue with the pandemic, of course, that cost us 6 months of the game. So it is what it is. But overall, thank you so much, Wheezy. This video was insane. I'm glad it's blowing up 1.3 million. Hopefully you can get some more subscribers out of this. And guys, let me know what you want to see next in this. Going to start doing some more gameplay, some more reaction, and of course the documentaries and shorts are going to be there. Thank you all for the support on the channel so far, and we'll see you in the next one.